What up, guys? Kevin here. So, something really funny happened yesterday. I woke up to many tweets about God of War Ragnarok sold 5.1 million units in the first week. It becomes the fastest selling first party launch game in PlayStation history. Wow. Wow, good for you, PlayStation. Should have seen it. All the tweets, all the PlayStation fanboys were frolicking and they're giving their thanks to God of War and PlayStation. It was a beautiful thing. Then a few hours later in the day, we got this news. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 10 million copies in first 3 days. Let me say that again. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 10 million copies in first 3 days. The broken ass Pokemon Scarlet and Violet doubled what God of War Ragnarok did in just 3 days. The broken game. That's all I hear about is how broken it is. Now, I do hear it's a really good Pokemon game. And, taking a step back, it's like, well, how many Switches are out there? It's getting close to the number of PS4. But again, God of War Ragnarok released on PS4, as well as the 25 million PS5s as well. So it is pretty much even. It is pretty much even. And then you could say, well, maybe they bought both copies, so that's why it doubled. Well, they did it in 3 days, and then Nintendo still got people to buy 2 broken-ass games. Not just one. I would say that's even more impressive. So let's talk about it. What happened here? Now, of course, Sony is really happy. Those are good numbers. Those are great numbers. Those are great numbers. And I don't need to see the comment, well, what are Xbox doing? I don't care about them. They need to learn how to make games first. But I just can't help but think, okay, God of War Ragnarok tries to be the perfect game. Tries to be the perfect game. Just everything looks top-notch. Quality, 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 quality. And then we get Pokemon doubling the sales. Well, is this like the fastest selling Pokemon game ever? I think so. Doubles the sales. Very impressive sales of God of War Ragnarok. And you know why? It's really easy. It's really easy why this happens. Because Nintendo and then Pokemon, they're just fucking games. They're just fucking video games. It's that easy. They're video games with a video game loop. That's addicting. That we all want to catch them all. Even I want to catch them all. Even I got it in the back of my head like, man, it is Thanksgiving today. I have a couple extra free hours. Maybe I want to catch them all. Maybe I will put up with the really lackluster performance and catch one of these derpy looking Pokemon. Because it's a gameplay loop that's addicting. What's addicting about God of War Ragnarok? Watching the story? Is that addicting? No, if you're addicted to that, you watch movies. And again, 5 million in a week, it's good. It's really good. But Nintendo's doing it over and over. I think Splatoon sold like 7 million in like 3 a week. I don't know. They sold a lot. I think we can all learn. Everyone making video games. Make video games. Make video games. Give us addicting gameplay loops. It's okay. I know Stephanie Sterling may yell at you that you're putting addicting gameplay elements that's going to hook kids and spend all their money. Though I did see a video where he's listed or is credited in Vampire Survivors, which is basically have addicting gameplay mechanics and even like loot boxes as well. Even you don't spend money on them, but that mechanic's there to get you hooked. It's really just that simple. I don't think does PlayStation have any games with that, just that gameplay loop, just that loop of yes, that's it. I wouldn't even say Microsoft has it with Halo. Once they figure the multiplayer out. Forza has a fun race car loop with Horizon. Everyone looks forward to the DLC and all this stuff that comes out, and I think they got it. It's gameplay, literal gameplay loop because you're doing laps. PlayStation, they just have very high quality, perfect. This needs to be so perfect, no flaws. And hey, it gets them to 5 million sold, which is really good. But even Jim Ryan said, they're not happy with just selling 20 million. They want to sell 100 million. And putting their games on PC. Did you know they put like a couple games on PC recently and they were duds? Hardly anyone's playing them. I'm not saying they're going to do bad, but that's where I'm at. And maybe they're figuring out with games as a service. Hopefully these games as a service games with PlayStation, there's going to be an addicting gameplay loop. Because just something as easy as gotta catch them all. One of my favorite series, my new favorite series now is Atelier, the Atelier games. Atelier Ryza, Sophie, all them. That just has a very addicting gameplay loop with just going out, gathering ingredients and making weapons, parts, items, and just watching that, just doing it over and over until you just become a JRPG monster stomping badass. And of course, the power of friendship. I made a video on that. What game do you think has more power of friendship? God of War Ragnarok or Pokemon? I mean, Pokemon, you got your Poke friends and all the friends you meet along the way. I will say God of War Ragnarok does have, you got Mimir and your little son Atreus. And then you meet people along the way. You're getting their PlayStation, you're getting there. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's just so one-to-one with how many consoles are out there. And, I think Nintendo just knows their audience more than PlayStation. And PlayStation really does know their audience. It's just Nintendo goes, hey, we got 120 million consoles out there. Let's figure out how we can sell this game to 40 million of them. Whereas PlayStation has 120 million consoles out there. It seems like that limit is 20 million. I think God of War 2018 is 23 million. But I remember hearing like last year, like what was it? Breath of the Wild only sold like 26 million, and I was disappointed by that number. I was like, why? I thought it'd be like 40, 50 million. Like 26 million? I was disappointed by that. Just because Nintendo, people love Nintendo. I love Nintendo. Like, I'm going to make a video here in maybe a few weeks, just calling it the year of the Switch, because I played a lot of Switch games that were excellent. I was just looking at the list of the games I beat. I'm like, wow, I beat a lot of Switch games. But I just think it's funny. And, of course, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet needs to shape up. They need to fix it. But again, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Next time they release a game like Performance, really turd. Can't talk right now. Because they sold 10 million copies in the first 3 days. 3, not a week, 3. All right, I'm done here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.